guys, thanks for sticking with us here. Appreciate you guys sticking around for the live stream here for Global Operations. I'm Michael Dunaway. I'm the community manager here at Obsidian for Armored Warfare. Joining me today on my left is Rich Taylor. He's the project director for Armored Warfare. And we're here to talk to you guys about global operations. So I'm glad to have all of you have turned out. We've got a great stream turnout. Really excited. Really pumped. Yeah. How you doing, Rich?
Good. Very excited to
Awesome.
talk about this today.
Awesome. So let's just get right into it then. What is global operations? We've kind of talked a little bit about it on the website a little bit, but why don't you go ahead and give us the breakdown of it and why it's awesome for armored warfare?
Yeah, absolutely. I like to talk about global operations. It's been something that we've been working on for over 6 months now, so being able to finally share it with all of our players is pretty exciting. Global operations is something that, like I mentioned, we have a team of developers, very talented, been working on very hard to bring our players for a while now. It was something that we started talking about very early on this year. As we took a look at where we were after launch and into our open beta, we tried to figure out where do we want to take our modes next in Armored Warfare. We felt that we had a really fun and engaging PvP mode, but we didn't feel like it was taking full advantage of the power and speed and lethality of the vehicles that we have in the game. So that was something we really wanted to build up on. So when we set out and started talking about what our goals were for global operations, there were a few primary bullet points that we really wanted to hit with it and deliver to our players. Important thing is that it's a dynamic battlefield. Unlike the maps that we have currently, the maps in global operations actually change over the course of the battle, and what players need to focus on and pay attention to will shift over the course of the battle. We felt this is a good direction to go because, as everyone's familiar with, the vehicles in Armored Warfare are very quick, very mobile. They're able to flex around the battlefield and adjust to the ebb and flow of what's going on in the match. So we wanted to make a mode that takes advantage of that. Players who take advantage of that speed are going to be the ones that really come out on top in this mode. We want it to be engaging from start to finish. We really want you to be able to get right into the action at the start of the match and stay engaged from the beginning to the end. One of the challenges with our current PvP mode is usually the first team that starts to lose vehicles early on can kind of end up in a landslide situation where they lose control of the map and they just get overrun by the enemy team. That was something we really wanted to target with global operations, take a different approach to how the match plays out, make it less clear who's necessarily going to win that battle. You have to stay engaged from the start of the match to the very end in order really to see that match through. We wanted to be accessible. We did want to provide mechanics that are fun and intuitive for players to check out, but also provide enough depth that players will have a lot to master as they really study what's available to them in global operations. There's certainly some new options available to you in this mode that haven't been present before in Armored Warfare. And finally, we really wanted to make sure all of our classes have a role in this battle. It's important for us that the players of every class feels like there's a role for them to play in the outcome of the match. And this has really been, I think, our best job so far at delivering on that promise. For us, pretty much all the vehicles are engaging to play and have a pivotal role to play in the outcome. So that's some of our high-level goals for global operations. Let's talk about how we delivered on those goals. So first, the idea of a dynamic battlefield. Well, the first thing we did is you'll notice that the way you win global operations is quite different from our other modes. In standard PvP, you either eliminate the enemy team or you capture a single objective on the map. In global operations, victories are achieved by reducing your enemy's tickets supply to 0. So at the start of the match, both teams have a supply of tickets, depending on the map that you're playing on. And different things you do, including capturing points and destroying enemy vehicles, will reduce the enemy team's ticket supply. Once that hits 0, your team wins. So that really kind of changed the ebb and flow of how the matches play out because everyone's important in the battle from the start to finish. Another big thing when I say dynamic battlefield and promise that it really does require that you pay attention to it, something that's changing around you all the time, are the primary objectives. So capture points aren't a new idea. We've had them in our PvE, we've had them in our PvP. In global operations, one of the big changes is there's multiple capture points. So it isn't just one point on the battlefield to fight over. Second of all, those capture points move over the course of the match. So at different phases, the primary objectives that you're going after to really secure a massive amount of ticket loss for your enemy team are relocating. So you have to pay attention to those phase changes. It forces you to move around the map, relocate, and strategically plan on how you're going to secure those different locations at the different phases. This is a really fun element to learn on the map. It can feel a little overwhelming at first when you're first exposed to it because it is a changing concept on the map to have these things moving around. But as you get familiar with it and start to take advantage of it, you can really start planning your own tactics and coordinate with your teammates on how you're going to take advantage of those primary objectives. So those are the primary points where you're going to be fighting over. They're located in key locations on the map where we want players to really engage. But they're not the only thing to be fighting over in global operations. Also scattered around the map are a system we call wildcards. Now, wildcards are also capture points. But unlike the primary objectives, wildcards are a strategic option. Capturing a wildcard actually gives you a new option as a player to use in the match. This is part of how we wanted to bring more of a combined arms feel into global operations. The ideal that while you are in control of your ground vehicles, and that's what Armored Warfare is about, there's also more going on in the battlefield. So capturing wildcards allows you to call in airstrikes, kind of giving the idea of air support. It allows you to place missile bunkers, giving the idea of infantry coming into the battlefield and providing that static defense or static offense, depending on where you place them. And the third wild card available on this map is be able to launch drones, which gives your team vision over an area of the map that you may not have anyone actively spotting on. So, and those drones are interactive. You can shoot them down out of the sky. So if you see an enemy team's drone up there, certainly worth taking it out to deny them some of that vision. But that's really just an idea of the changing nature of the battlefield. So now you're paying attention to drones, pillboxes are getting set up, and airstrikes are coming in that you may need to avoid in order to avoid getting bombed. So that's just what that's how we're really enforcing the idea of a dynamic battlefield there and a combined arms sense with all these different mechanics coming into play. The third thing that I want to talk about is something that we're really excited about, something we wanted to bring to Armored Warfare for quite an amount of time, and that's the idea of having dynamic weather in a map and having it actually have an impact on the gameplay during the match. So on our first global operations map, there is a sandstorm that has a chance to appear. And when that sandstorm comes in, it's visually changing the look of the map, the lighting is changing, the audio is changing, but it's also actually pulling in the vision ranges of the vehicles. It gives main battle tanks a chance to engage in close quarters combat without getting sniped from long distance, but it also gives our light vehicles a chance to flank around the map without being spotted so easily. So there's really a lot of opportunities for interesting gameplay during that sandstorm. I believe you'll be able to see that coming up in our playtest today that we're going to be sharing with you. One of the things about global operations is we want to keep the action fast-paced and engaging from the start of the match to the ending. One of the things you'll find when we show you the playtest is that there are neutral AI vehicles on the map that are hostile to both teams. So they'll spawn in at the start of the match. They also spawn in at different phases. They're sort of an additional element that you can deal with or try to use to your advantage against the enemy team, depending on what you decide to do in regards to the enemy AI vehicles. Another big game changer for global operations in order to keep players engaged in the match from start to finish is respawns. So we already had respawns in PvE by way of consumables. In global operations, respawns are actually a fundamental part of the mode. They don't cost you consumable. It's just something that you get. So when your vehicle's destroyed, there's some downtime. You pick a spawn point on the map, and you get right back into the action. Either you're going to go get revenge on who killed you, or shift to where maybe you're more needed on the map based upon what's going on. So you're really rewarded for paying attention to what's playing out in the match in global operations. Again, like I said, those wild cards, they do appear randomly, so you don't ever know necessarily where they're going to appear or which ones appear there, so you do have to be paying attention to that and figuring out which ones you want to secure and what's worth taking the risk to go get. One of the concerns that was raised when we first introduced global operations, I hope a lot of people had the opportunity to check out the preview we had out a couple of weeks ago that a lot of our streamers were able to share. A couple of concerns were about vehicle diversity and classes. Global operations does feature a lot of close quarters combat locations, which feels like it caters mostly to main battle tanks. But we've actually found that the high mobility required in the mode does require a fair amount of fast vehicles as well. In our internal play test, we've really seen a lot of diversification in terms of the classes being represented in the match. And I'd say all the classes are very satisfying to play in it. Another concern was about running out of ammo. One of the changes you'll see in this version of global operations that we're sharing today is that we have added resupply points for players to reload up on ammo. So if you're out there and you're having a very successful run and you actually use up your ammo supply, you can fall back and resupply and get back into the action. Another big change you'll see in today's build from the last one we revealed is there's a lot more VO, kind of giving you a sense of the immersion that we're looking for in this mode, really giving the idea of a living dynamic battle. The map that we're sharing today is called Desert Crossing. It's staged around a docked aircraft carrier with both teams vying control of that carrier in order to secure it. So you'll kind of get an impression of that conflict going on from the VO that's spoken to you over the course of the match in terms of what's going on. Desert Crossing is our largest map to date. It has 30% more playable space than Frontlines, which we introduced in .17. So we're very excited about that. Larger maps is something we at Obsidian have been wanting to deliver on for a long time, but the key was figuring out what makes a larger map interesting. It needs to have enough things for you to do or secure in a large map to be worth adding all that playable space to it. And global operations was the recipe to be able to deliver on that. Desert Crossing is just our first global operations map. We are working on yet even a larger map that we want to introduce after that one, which is actually 60% more playable space than Frontline. So it is a huge map in development that we're looking forward to, and we'll be able to share more details about that in the future. But I think that's enough talking about it. I think it would be awesome to be able to show our players who've tuned in a first look at global operations. The version you're going to see today is a very current build for 0.18, the update that should be coming to the PTS very soon. So you'll be able to actually get your hands on this version very soon.
Yeah, so what we're going to do at this point is we're going to just, me and Rich are going to get up and actually get to our PCs. We're going to take a quick little break to sort of make that transition. During this time also, we're also going to give out some T64A Hunter codes. Nice. I know a lot of you have been looking forward to those.
Those are hard to get.
They are extremely hard to get right now, yeah. So we're going to be giving some of those out, and we're going to be basically going through a couple of different matches of global operations, show off a couple different vehicles, how they would play on global operations, kind of give you guys an idea of how one battle can be different from the next battle after it. And then after that, we're going to have a Q&A period where we've sort of noticed, a lot of questions coming in on Twitter, on Facebook, and on the forums, of course on Twitch as well.
Yeah.
So we'll be taking those questions from the community, and we'll be answering those questions as well, sort of giving you guys a little bit more information after that. So without further ado, we're going to take a quick little transitionary break here, and then we'll be right back with some gameplay.
We'll be right back.
See you guys. All right. We are now good to go. Thanks for sticking with us there, guys. Getting all set up here and ready to go. Are you ready, Rich?
I'm very ready.
Very ready, as he gets back in the client. Okay. So, Rich, I guess the first thing we should do is, platoon up.
Yeah, let's platoon up.
That would be a good idea.
It'd be good for us to be on the same team.
Well, let's see. You're the aptly named playtest.
Yeah.
Always a great name there.
Very
Just go ahead
official.
and send that over to you.
Okay.
So you can accept that. All right, good to go. So Rich, I'm going to be playing in the Stingray here. What are you sporting? The B1 Centauro?
Yes.
Awesome. All right.
One of my favorites.
All right. So we've got some long range gameplay here, and then we've got, of course, me zipping around in the Stingray, hoping to do my best there and make a good showing of this. So let's go ahead and go to queue up here.
Platoon up. Oh, you're setting it up.
Yeah, yeah. So we're in the .18 garage. As you can see, this is a new garage interface if you guys actually haven't seen it before. It's much larger. It's got a way higher visual fidelity. You can really zoom into your vehicles here and get really close and look at all the intricate parts and everything like that. So to actually access global operations in .18, for now what you're going to do is you're going to hit this change mode button and you're going to drop down to where it says global operations, and that will bring up the actual queue for global operations. In the future, we might end up integrating the actual maps themselves into the normal queue, so you'll get normal maps, PvP maps, and global operation maps intertwined. But for at least .18, we're going to make it to where it's a separate queue, so people can opt into it, if you will.
Yeah, it's also just to make sure that people can definitely check it out, because after we've talked about it, they should be able to jump in.
Yeah, they should be able to directly not have to get like some kind of roulette kind of thing, right?
Exactly.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit the queue button here.
What about platooning?
I added you as a friend.
Yeah,
I didn't invite you to
step one.
Step 1 of 2. Okay, there we go.
Great.
It's a good idea. All right, so now already up here, and I'm just going to tell the rest of the team that they can go ahead and jump in the queue here.
Great.
There we go. All right, so we're going to go ahead and queue up now as a team here, as a platoon. Global Ops, there we go. All right.
Wow, they got in fast.
They were ready to go. Everyone's ready to go. And boom, there the match was. Joining the match, we got in there. That one person, that one extra person there is not going to get in that match, whoever that is.
Quick on the draw there.
Yeah, yeah. So we got in. We're getting going. Join the match. You guys will be able to see everything in its glory. I just noticed that the sound here is pretty low. Did I actually turn on the sound? Let's see here. Nope. That would be good. All right. Let's go back. And there we go.
So you also can see our new loading screens.
Yeah, yeah. So this is one of the new loading screens. This is specifically for global operations, this one. But there are new loading screens for all of the maps. A new interface for the loading screen, I should say. Much more modern and great looking. I really like what the UI team's done with it. It's pretty awesome. So we're on Team Blue, as always. We've got some good guys on our team. Lots of VBLs and Bradleys on the enemy team here. A couple Centauros. 3 T-72s. Both of our teams have 3 T-72s.
Yeah.
Nice.
Pretty good mix.
Yeah, good mix on both sides. I'm liking what I see here. We got a nice representation here. I can't wait to kill some of these names. Boo Boo Kitty and Purple Ghost. Got some nice names there. I'm ready to do
There's
this.
some familiar ones on there too.
Yeah. Tanky McTankface. I'm glad I'm having him on my team here.
Yeah.
So here's the loading screen here. As you can see, we've got Kyle Connor. He's kind of the commander for our team. We've got the ISD commander, which is the enemy's team commander. And then the local commander, Plamen Bo. I can't pronounce that name, but that is the enemy AI faction commander that sort of like heads up everything.
Gunner, scan for target.
Let's go ahead and zoom back here so you guys can see.
So if you hit tab, you'll see that there's 3 phases on this map.
Yeah, so we got 3 phases. For this first phase, there's 3 primary targets, three objectives. They got one on the carrier deck, one on the bridge, and then one in the village, which is up to the north. Since I spawned up north, I'm actually going to go to the north. So
I'll go with you. So you'll notice that there's missile bunkers right here near our spawn. Kind of a little bit of static defense, protection against spawn like that. People were getting a little reckless with that early on. But that kind of puts a stop to that.
There we go. That was a little bit too high. Let's bring that down just a tad. Ooh. Tweak the sound a little more. There we go. Oh, getting stuck. All right. So as we can make our way to this first point, as you can see here, we're actually going to run into some enemy AI. So you can kind of see they are already in the middle of the map as we engage. But I spotted my first one here, this expeditionary tank. Another one over there, the MBT-70. He's actually engaging the enemy team already. So he's been taken out. You can kind of see there by the other players on the enemy team who are kind of coming up there. We got a lot of nice ambient effects going on. Oh, I'm already taken. Smoke out there. All right, coming in. Sorry, character. Trying to survive. Coming behind this building. All right, so we got 13 seconds here. You can see on the top to actually try to capture this. Now, of course, it does get reset slightly when we take damage. Yeah. I'm getting hit from a bunch of different sides here. Oh, 13 HP. They're all over that. They're some RDFs doing that. I was taken out there, but we got capture point 2, so that's good. Capture point 3, I can actually choose my spawn location. I'm going to go ahead and try to contest one again.
Yeah, one's very hot.
There. Looking down here, we've already got some players here solidifying on 3. Looks like we've got that point almost taken care of, but we are trying to deal with a T-72A there. And then point 2, we've got a lockdown there. All right, so I'm back up. So as I come in here to try to retake point 1, Rich is going to be in the back there on his V1 Centauro trying to pluck away. The view range on the map, of course, is quite large. We increased it in .17, so you can see fairly long distance. And because of the fact that Global Ops is such a big map, you really don't run as much of a risk to be spotted in things like TDs, which is always nice.
Yeah, there's some pretty good sniping position.
All right, man, they really heavily committed here to point 1.
Yeah. It's working out for us on the rest of the map, though.
Yeah, it looks like they are trying to retake point 3, or trying to take point 3 at this point. Let's see if we can keep them a little bit busy. Now, they are going to end up capturing point 1 here, so at this point, I can choose to either continue to engage with them, sort of, play with them a little bit here, or I can opt to go down the map a little bit and see what's up. Oh, hey, buddy. Swap to smoke there real quick. See if I can flank around here.
Yeah, it's getting a little quiet at 1 now. It might be able to steal it.
Identified. Hostile truck.
ATGM coming in. Hold back here. All right, so we just got some pillboxes that just spawned and a UAV. Oh, I think he just crashed himself. Oh, he fell off the side there. Got some enemy AI spawning in the back there. I'm going to make sure to get out of the way of them. But there is a nice little spawn point here, or a pillbox wildcard, I should say. I'm going to try to capture this. You take out that bagel panzer that's coming in so I can cap this point.
Oh,
nice.
One is looking pretty clear now.
RDF there. So I'm almost to the point where I can capture this.
Going for 1. Oh,
we
you
go.
got the. Oh, nice.
Nice. So I got it here. So I'm going to go ahead and looking at the map, looking at our objectives, we still have 1, 2, and 3. I kind of want to solidify and make it a little bit harder. Oh, I'm noticing that they're trying to fight there, this XM1 at the bottom. So they'll actually spawn, and if you look at the bottom of the map right here, they'll spawn behind this XM1 after a couple of seconds, and it'll end up helping our team down there to retake those point 3. And you can actually see the damage coming in. I did 1,200 damage because the ATGM started to fire. I'm going to go for point 4 now. We switched into our secondary transition.
Yeah, we're on phase 2.
Yeah, phase 2. So we got points 4 here and 5 on the map. Put that there. There we go. Got a nice shot on that VBL. He's out. Alright, coming in. So we're already taking point 5.
Some MBTs in our back line here. Go clean those guys out.
Yep. So if I manage to survive after capturing this point, as you notice, the main objectives actually take longer to capture than things like wildcards. But if we more people in the circle, the faster we capture it. But if we manage to capture it, I'm going to go ahead and fall back and rearm a little bit here, get a little bit of HP back. Oh, no effect. 200 HP. Really want to capture this point back though. It's a risk here. Now I can stay and I can help capture this, or I can fall back. I think we're almost got it. Oh no, we took a hit. Oh, where did that come from? Centauro out of nowhere, flanking me from the side there. So you can kind of see on the map here at D and, oops, the map's come up here. Let's go ahead and choose.
Man.
I'm
Oh.
going to go top again. But at the top there, you can kind of see these two sort of like mechanics things. Oh, you got taken out?
Yeah.
But the resupply points you can see at like D2 and then I2, those are the areas where you can actually go in and repair and resupply in case you run out of ammo or you want to get a little bit of HP back. So they managed to actually take out all my pillboxes. I don't see them on the map anymore. In the meantime, though, I did manage to deal 1,200 damage, so that probably helped us solidify in keeping point 3, which is always nice. But they're actually making a comeback now. They own both points 4 and 5.
They have both points, so
yeah,
we got to get some of that.
coming here. So they're all really low HP. I think some of them are going to resupply.
Yeah, I think we can get in there and polish them off.
Yeah.
Probably push them out of 4.
Smoke there really quickly. See if we can retake 4. Oh.
All right.
This guy right here, boss hit, man,
Identify
is
target.
typically a good. Oh no, I'm exposing my side. Come on.
I'm gonna try and sneak around into there.
There we go.
Drive it down. Take it over.
Yeah, there's
Too
so
many guys there. I'm going to go ahead and transition down to 5 here, see if we can. We really got to retake the point. You notice we were ahead in the first phase, but now that they've sort of retaken 4 and 5, they're really making a huge comeback here.
Yeah,
and
I can't
making
take,
a pretty good dent.
4. I'm gonna bail.
In terms of point loss, AI counts for the least. You know, you get some points for points taken off for taking out AI. Most points come from objectives, though. Players do matter. Kills do actually contribute to that. But as you can see, we lost a huge amount of tickets from not being able to hold on to 4 and 5 for very long.
Yeah, so we're in phase 3 now. Oh, there's the sandstorm warning.
Oh, sandstorm's coming in. So we have a pretty good time of taking 7 and 9. They are closest to our spawns. However, that really doesn't get us too much because we are behind 400 tickets or so.
Yeah, we're gonna
we really
push
would
pretty
want to take
aggressive.
those and then try to take a third one as well. Alternatively, if we got a nice pillbox spawn or a bomber spawn, airstrike, we could
Airstrike
really
would be
use
very
those
nice.
to our advantage to sort of even out those tickets some. Oh, there's a far pillbox there. We've taken 7. I'm going to try to see if I can go for this pillbox.
Looks like they're capturing the drone.
Oh, there's a bomber right there in the middle.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Hoping someone can get that bomber there. That would really, if we were able to get score at like 6 or 7 kills, potentially, if they're all grouped up, that would really come to our advantage there. So there's a UAV in the area, as you can see now. That UAV has a pretty high view range underneath it. So you can see a lot of players all spotted in there. And currently, there's only one, the enemy's UAV up on the map. That UAV, like we said earlier, can be taken out, so players with autocannons or even main guns can take that out. I've seen people even with I've seen people even with ATGMs take those out.
That's a good shot.
Hoping to get some help here.
That's a bad corner to go around. Oh, the sandstorm's in full effect now.
Yep. So when sandstorm is in effect, your vision range is actually reduced quite dramatically. Oh, and the player is in. You see, we're trying to take this.
Ah.
Oh, 6 seconds. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Okay, got it. Finally. All right, I gotta quickly put this on the map. I'm gonna put this right here. Oh man. Smoke down.
Scraping by with those 50 hit points there, huh? Oh man, they got 7 out from under us.
They did? They sniped it from us, didn't they? Here comes the bomber though, and I'm dead for it. No, come on. There it goes over there. You can kind of see it.
Got Tyson.
Trying to make a better showing of the next time there. Oh, I had to be dead for it, dang it.
Yeah.
All right, so they actually made a huge push there in phase 2, and it's looking really dire for us at this point.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
You know, we fought mainly in the top part of the map, so next time we'll try to make more of a showing of the bottom part of the map. But yeah, they made a huge push there in the second phase and managed to, I think, clutch victory.
Yeah, they got us pretty good
From
in
the
phase
jaws
3 too, with the push on to 7.
Yeah. They really did a good job of just holding that area of the map and converging on the main objectives when they need to. You can see the sandstorm is in full effect, and that's going to be defeat on our part. So